All right, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be doing the setup for a Google Plus login. All right, so first of all, the main question, of course, is, hey, I've got email password authentication working. Why do I even want to bother with this? It's going to be longer to code. It's going to be more complex. Why do it, right? So I'll come back to you with this question. You've been using Firebase for a little bit here. Let me ask you, who actually created a new email password for Firebase? All right. Really, the better question is, how many of you used either Google or GitHub to log in? My guess is most of you did, right? And honestly, our users are no different, right? Who wants to remember more passwords, more email password combinations, right? If we can use authentication that's already trusted, why not, right? And furthermore, we know that on every Android phone, there's already a Google account, right? So people are already using this. So it seems like a no-brainer that we would support, authentication via Google. Okay, and I will mention right now that for those of you using devices, no issues, right? You probably already have an account set up. If you're borrowing a device and you don't have an account set up, well, you can go ahead and add an account. Or if you're on an emulator. So first of all, if you're on an emulator, you actually need to use an SDK that uses the Google APIs, and you'll see that when you go to set up. When you set up a virtual device and ask you for which SDK you're using, and you're giving it your version like Marshmallow or Lollipop or so on, choose one of the options that includes Google, right? Once you've done that, then on your emulator or on a device that you're borrowing or whatever, you will have to go to the settings and add a Google account if you don't have one already, right? And that's just some background for anything we're going to do on here. Like I say, probably most of you it's not going to affect. All right, so the first thing is, right, we need to tell Google who we are. We need to sort of set up some work in the background. So this is backend work, but not even necessarily Firebase, although we're going to grab something that's going to go into Firebase. So what we need to do is create a Google project, right? So we're basically going to need to register the app that we have here with Google. So we're going to go to a place called the Google Developer Console, and we're going to create a project there called Password Keeper that initially, at least, is independent of what we've done in Firebase. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click into here and bring us into this. I already had another one that I was messing around with. So you want to create a project, right? And then you give it an ID. And I think using a name like Password Keeper is fine. You're probably gonna, let's see, so Password Keeper, and it gives us here a project ID. If we wanna edit it to make it a little bit different, we can. Okay, kind of up to you as far as what you want to do. Yeah, I think this is, let's see. I usually like to use the same name that I used in Firebase, just for fun. Now this is going to be a temporary one that I'm going to blow away shortly, so I'm going to call it Password Keeper 18, and I'll create it just for this video, and then it'll be gone. All right. So go ahead and do that. So you're going to have a Password Keeper project. Then what you're going to want to do is to go to the API Manager. Okay. So click in there, and you'll see that there's plenty of APIs to choose from, but that's not why we're here. We're here to check out credentials. So let's go ahead to credentials. And there's going to be a couple things that we're going to have to do. So for OAuth, there's going to be a consent screen that's going to pop up the first time that they connect, and otherwise we need to get the credentials themselves. So we're going to start off with the consent screen, and we'll go into here, and it'll ask you for your email address, and then what you want to have shown to the user, and those are the only required things, right? So for homepage, if you had a Password Keeper web client, this would be a good place to put it. If you had a product logo, you could put all that stuff in here: privacy policy, terms of use service, all sorts of fun stuff that you could put in there. Make sure that once you've done that you go ahead and you save. Okay, so save on that, and then you go to credentials, and in credentials, what you're going to need is an OAuth client ID. Oops, let's get this guy. Let's get this guy out of here. OAuth client ID. And creating a client ID, what type do you want? Well, clearly we want an Android one, and the name, we can keep that for now. All right, so two things you're going to need. So you're going to need your package name, and you're going to need a fingerprint to sign it. So the package name is the easy part, right? So what you want to do is just go ahead into your Android manifest file and grab that. So in here, you probably used, if you didn't change it, you probably have this very thing right here, edu_roseholman.passwordkeeper. And so we'll go into there and dump that in. And then finally, we need a SHA-1 fingerprint, right? So getting this guy, you're going to have to run keytool. If you're running on Linux or the Mac, you can pretty much copy this in, and you'll have to give it a path to your Keystore. Okay. On Windows, you're going to have to run this. I don't think the path is set up for you probably already, so it makes sense to go into the location of keytool. Keytool is something that is bigger than Android. It's sort of a general Java thing. So I'm going to navigate there and open it up in Java. All right. So the easiest way on Windows to get to that place is to actually go into wherever you store Java. Okay. So let's see. So the JRE, it looks like my latest one is right here, and I'm going to go into the bin. And if I scroll down, I should see there's my keytool file. Okay. So again, you're going to have probably a similar path that you can navigate to somewhere in one of your runtime environments. The bin folder, you'll have keytool. Okay. I want to run this from the command line. So again, I'm going to shift right click on this one. Let's see, and it looks like I was actually clicked on an individual thing. I want to give it command line argument, so I want to be in the folder but not there. So yeah, if I click somewhere else in the folder, shift right click, I can open a command window right here, and I'll go ahead and pull this guy over. And now if I use keytool, we'll see that it actually runs. So I actually want the options that it gives me on here. So it's keytool. And if you want to paste it in and modify it, you can do that. So let's see. Copy. And here, let's see. If you right click on this, you can see that there's a paste one right here. So the only thing that's different is that I need to give it a path to the Keystore. Okay. So the Keystore is something that's totally different. I'll show you where it is on my computer, and you can probably figure it out from there. So mine is in C:, and it's, let's see, I think backslash is in Windows, is going to be in users. Let's see, so users and my user, and then there's a so .android that is there. And that I think is everything we need. So debug.keystore, right? So if I start typing that in, okay. So again, it's going to be in your users path in the .android folder, okay. And then it looks like I lost the rest of this when I pasted this in. So it's -list -v verbose, okay. So I'll go ahead and run this guy. And it's going to ask me for a password. If you've used it before and set up a password, that's fine. Otherwise, you can go ahead and hit enter, and it should give you some passwords. I should probably black mine out here. But what you're going to have to do is copy this. You're going to have to copy look for and copy the SHA-1 password in. Okay, so in Windows, the easiest way to do that, and this is just a huge pain, right? Right click, do a select all, and then let's see, so copying was just enter. So let me do that again. So I'm going to do a select all and then hit enter. And then I'm going to have basically everything on my clipboard, paste it into a text editor, and go ahead and grab your fingerprint out of there. All right, so you'll grab that and you'll hit create. All right, and it will give you a client ID, right? Copy that, so get the client ID on your clipboard, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Firebase, right, and go into login and auth, and I'm going to scroll back up, and now I'm going to go to Google Auth and enable Google Authentication, and then I'm going to paste that client ID in there, right? and we're good to go as far as setup goes. Just run through the slides again really quick just to make sure I didn't forget anything and sort of see what other information you might need. So we walked through this, setting up the consent page and choosing a client ID. So that's what this is, right? So our consent screen and then our credentials. And again, we were looking for the package name and our SHA-1 fingerprint. Okay. And so, like I said, I gave you the commands here if you'd like them. Of course, you'll have to modify them for the paths that are on your machine, but the instructions if you missed that for what we did. Okay. So again, your client ID should be it should be something.apps.googleuser.com, and that should be what I have here. So yeah, there we go. So something.apps.googleuser.com. All right, so it looks decent. And we have enabled it and we pasted it in, and that's it for the lesson. Next time we'll come back to write the code.